Los Angeles. The final chapter in a year-long search for the ultimate independent garage bands. It's a journey that began with almost 1,000 bands from all over the U.S. who took part in a nationwide talent search. Each will compete for the opportunity to produce an original studio recording with Grammy Award-winning producer Don Was and the Ford Focus Mobile Studio. Before the winner is announced, each act will take the stage to play in front of 3 judges who will ultimately decide who wins.
Everything you did, I thought our futures were connected.
That was Don,
that was your idea.
Well, what I recall is after season 1, right, we spoke like right after the show aired, and you said, "All right, we got a top last year. How do we do that?" I was like, let's put it in the car.
And what's amazing when you have a few people who don't know what can't be done, then it gets done, because no one would have thought to do it.
Yeah.
And thank you, Galpin. Thank you for getting that together for us.
That's amazing. Oh man, I don't think we knew what we had really until we saw it on TV. Right. You know, it was fun, but I didn't know if it made any sense even. Right. But I remember watching it, and like my jaw dropped. Right. You did such a great job.
The idea that there was going to be an arc to it did not seem like that was at the time going to happen at all. You know, but it was like making a record. You just do every little thing with integrity, and then it'll turn out.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Right.
Pulled me under. I fought so hard for.
I don't know, man. It exceeded my expectations on every
really
level.
Did.
You know, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
you know what I loved the most? I loved that there was an announcer.
Yeah.
We had a narrator,
and it's the guy who does like action movies.
Yeah.
So it was they introduced you, and it was like Mr. T or something. The freeze frame. This is like real. This is like a real announcer.
I've never been so wrong.
Well, we should definitely mention Daryl, man.
Oh, Daryl, absolutely. Daryl
Kinson.
Daryl for sure, because he put his heart and soul in it. Guys at Galpin.
Yeah.
Mad Mike.
Mad Mike is actually, I think he's down in San Diego right now because he donates his time to a children's charity, which is, that's amazing. He's giving back.
Right. And let's see, Stuart, who wasn't our announcer, but our host.
Yes, she was great.
Because you have to have a host and an announcer. Otherwise nothing's going on.
You will not believe what we have planned for Gimme the Gig 3. It's gonna blow everybody's mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My favorite moment of Gimme the Gig 2 was when we returned to Galpin and Krish was recording the band in the car. And the last, I gave like these kids drawings to Madden. That's right. To come back and see that he'd worked out all the bugs and that it was a functioning studio. I didn't really mean it, it was just an idea. But it was so fantastic to see it actually happen. I'll never forget that. Great.
Yeah. The whole thing was a favorite moment because I got to work with Don and kind of work with Tom for the first time, and that's always an amazing. It's amazing to collaborate with your friends. But one thing I remember very poignantly was I think it was the first we filmed Out of Order, so the first one we filmed when all the bands were up waiting for the announcements of the winner, and they all had their arms around each other, and to be part of a moment like that was so communal.
Yeah.
That was real special.
And that was one of the hardest things to do because, you're with them for a day and you kind of get to know them, and all of a sudden, 3 go home and 1 stays, and they're all good. And it was difficult to kind of say, hey, you're all winners, but you stay, that kind of thing. But it was a great spirit of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Mine was when they were filming I Shine, who was a return guest, and they won. And you'll never see it on the TV show, but Johnny, the singer, kept on breaking down because it meant that much to him. And we had to cut the cameras 3 or 4 times. I'll get emotional telling the story, but 3 or 4 times had to cut the things that meant that much to him. Because it was cool that we're doing this and it's a good publicity for the car and all that, but to do that and also affect someone that way, That's pretty cool.
That's the ultimate thing that happened with this that is compelling to me, and I think everyone else, is that it was something done that had a certain marketing mission, and it turned into something that was organic and touched the people a little bit in a positive way, and that's what it's all about.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man.